I slept with my boyfriend's grandfather a few months ago. A little background story. I met this guy through a friend in 2022. We hit it off immediately and we started dating in a couple of months' time. I was 19 years old at the time. I had finished the SHS at that point, waiting to get into the university. My dad was against me dating anyone, and so I kept my relationship with him a secret. Then one day, he took my phone and saw our messages. My dad had told me he only wanted me to date after I was done with uni. After seeing those messages, he was very disappointed and angry. He warned me to break things off with my guy, and I told him I will, but I didn't. I was madly in love with this boy at this point. Like, I thought I couldn't live without him. It was all I could think about, and my whole world revolved around him. The only people who knew of our relationship was the friend who introduced us and my best friend. Now, the friend who introduced us told me he was from a rich family. We always met in the park at night, and I had never been to his house, so I didn't know how rich he was. About 6 months into my relationship with him, I had a falling out with my best friend. We argued about something I don't even remember. I was angry with her and she was angry with me. Because of that, we were not talking for weeks. One night, my mom and dad went for a crusade, but I pretended to be sick so that I could stay at home. This was the night I wanted my guy to break my virginity. Even though we met at the park and did other stuff, we couldn't sleep together that day. I knew he was staying with his grandmother and grandfather, and so we couldn't go to his house too. I wanted us to do the do in the house the night of the crusade. Our church was only about 30 minutes away, but I knew they were going to be there all night. My guy came over, we went to my room and we started doing it. In the middle of the act, I felt my door open with force. It was my dad. He started raining insults on us, slapped my guy, and sacked both of us from the house. He said if I wanted to be cheap, I should do it outside his house. My dad disowned me that night. He didn't even allow me to take anything from my room. But even then, I was in love, so I didn't really care. My guy told me not to worry. He told me I can go with him to his grandparents' house while my father cools down. He said he would beg them to allow me to stay with them for some time. It was after we got to their house that I realized how rich they really were. His grandfather was cool with me staying, but the look on his grandmother's face was a look of disgust. She didn't want me around. My guy begged and begged her to let me stay there. He told her I didn't have anywhere else to go. Finally, she agreed, but we were to stay in 2 separate rooms, and she said I can only stay there for 1 week. The next day, I went to beg my dad, but he wouldn't even see me. My mom told me my dad didn't want to see me, and that I should give him a few days to cool off. A few days turned into a month, and my dad still didn't want me in his house. I was still staying with my guy and his grandparents, and his grandmother was making my life hell. She was treating me like a maid. She said if I was going to stay with them, then I have to do my part. And they already had 2 mates in the household. Their house was huge, and this woman will make me clean the house every single day. I was always running errands for her. Immediately she sees me sitting down, she'll call me to go and do something. When my dad found out I was staying with my guy, he said he didn't want me back in the house anymore. He said since I was acting like an adult, I should continue taking care of myself. Throughout all this, I was in love with my guy, so nothing really mattered. As long as I had him, I was okay. Soon, I found out it was my best friend who told my dad I was in the house with my guy. I felt betrayed and I cut her out of my life. 4 months in, all my friends had started school, and I was staying with this guy and his grandparents 7 days. Then this guy changed overnight. He started cheating on me, and before he was hiding it. But then right in front of me, he started talking to other women. Like he didn't even care. He started treating me like the way his grandmother was treating me. Then one day, right in front of me, this guy brought another woman home.